Oregon represents, I think, a lot of things in people's imaginations. Oregon has been seen as a utopia. It was the road to a brighter future, to individualism and possibility. And I realized I would be really interested in seeing if I could tap into the ethos or the vibration that the land drew out of us and see what would happen if I tried to write music kind of based on that. And so that whole sort of question and inquiry became the album that is the Territory. The idea of place is important to me because I've lived in a lot of different places. I lived in Manhattan in the 1980s and 90s. So I could walk down to the Village to jazz clubs, and so I was just in heaven. Honestly, I felt like I was in the center of the universe. Any night of the week, you would go hear the legends of the music, like they're all there. For me as a young professional, it was really fantastic.
Darrell Grant became one of New York's most sought-after musicians, playing and touring with big names, including jazz legend Betty Carter.
So playing with Betty Carter provided me a number of great first opportunities. It was my first tour to Europe with her. And I think there's a clip of me playing in her band on David Sanborn's night music show. My dream of being a jazz musician was certainly realized. I had opportunities to play with people, do my own records, and develop a reputation. So I had a great time.
But in 1997, Darrell left New York and moved to Oregon.
I feel like I'd made my mark, or some little mark, in New York, and I was looking for a place to really feel like I could make a contribution to community in a broader way than I could have trying to make a living as a jazz musician in New York City. One of the things that I love about Oregon is the abundance, just the sheer abundance of beauty, of green, of water. It seems to be a really community-driven place. Like decisions are made, big decisions are made that foster and engender community. The song Rivers is about the way that the rivers in the state sort of carry commerce and carry the salmon, but also carry our dreams and beliefs. And they sort of are this fertile channel for what becomes a state. Rivers sounds like water to me. It's very flowing. Yeah, it has this kind of flow and surging to it that I really think expresses the river. One of the great ironies about Oregon is that it was this utopia, but it was seen as an exclusive utopia, originally intended to be a utopia for white citizens only. And so for many, many years, they had these exclusion laws. So I felt like I needed the piece to represent those realities too.
Just up around the corner, 1 block from the Union Station sign, there's more than 100 rooms to choose and no color line to give you the blues.
The The Golden West Hotel was the first African-American owned hotel west of the Mississippi River, and back during Portland's days of segregation, that was the only place in town where African-Americans could stay. And the black churches were only blocks away down there, and so they'd all come to the Golden West and they'd have lunch buffet there and do their social talking there. I guess I tend to try and project hope just as my general perspective. So even in telling the difficult stories, it's about what we can learn from the difficult stories, because those vibrations are still here. The opportunity for those bad decisions will present itself again. And if we do not learn from what we did before, if we do not firmly have in mind the lessons that we learned from what we did before, we will repeat them. For everybody having a place that they feel like they want to invest in making a difference seems like a good thing. Because we can draw from that place and we can then give back and serve that place. So I feel like that's part of what we're all meant to do. I would hope that the territory would allow people an opportunity to reflect in the same way that watching the sun rise over Mount Hood allows them the opportunity to reflect, in the same way that sitting out and watching Haystack Rock at Cannon Beach allows them the opportunity to reflect on their lives and on what they care about. Just an opportunity to reflect.